I was wondering, did you start off on an Epiphone or was it a Gibson? I mean, your first real jazz guitar.
I think it was a Gibson. No, I think it was a Gibson. Yeah.
Okay, and you.
And then I was only 16. there was a group, a family here in town, Italian guys, guitar players, and they knew D'Angelico. They knew him personally.
Mm.
And my poor dad and mother raked up $350 and bought me a D'Angelico.
Oh,
and I took that on the road with Shep.
Wow.
A white D'Angelico.
Do you still have it?
No.
No.
Boy, I was really dumb. I sold it to somebody for $3,000, and he took it to Japan, and I think that's where they started making this D'Angelicos in Japan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, so I know that you also have been very much associated with Guild. You played a lot of Guild artists.
Yeah, I played some Guild. Yeah, I did, and then I got to be friends with Bob Benedetto. And
great person.
Howard Paul,
Yeah, those are great guys.
So here, this is my D,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it. My Benedetto, I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those are lovely guitars.
Yeah.
And that's a thinner guitar that you've got there, I think, right?
Bob said to me, "What color do you want?" And I said, "I don't know. I want something neutral, like maybe a violet kind of shade."
Mm-hmm.
That's what he came up with.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, they make some great. And Bob actually made that one himself.
Yeah, Bob made it. Yeah.
Well, those are the best ones. Yeah.
Bob likes to play the guitar too. He's a little bit of a fan.
Oh, absolutely.
He likes to play. He goes to senior homes and sits there.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting. So, I was going to ask you a little bit about your book that you did for Mel Bay. You did a book on improvisation. I actually have an early copy of it. We have a mutual friend, Tim Bedner, who helped you edit the book. He was my best friend when I was at Berkeley studying, and we would play together pretty much every day there for several years. And so he actually was kind enough to give me a copy of your book. But that was the maybe about 45 pages. I think that maybe there was a second edition that came out, or
a lot of it came from my studies with Vic Lawrence, and a little bit of it, I guess, might be reminiscent of George Van Elst. Kind of stuff. Then this, the different shades of triadic. So I called it a common sense approach to improv.
Yes.
And then I talked about the Italian musical genius of writing melodically, neighbor tones, closed neighbor tones, scale tones, chromatic tones. That's it.
Right, and I remember, it's been a while since I've seen the book, but I remember Joy Spring was in there, and Cherokee. You used a couple of tunes in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was some great book. I really love how you approach your lines from chord shapes. And
from chord shapes, yeah.
That's something that strikes me that Charlie Christian was probably doing.
That's very much what Charlie Christian did.
Yeah. Yeah, so you learn from the best, Charlie Christian. Did you ever get a chance to see him play, or did he ever come through Pittsburgh?
I don't think I ever saw him in person.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to have met him, but I became pretty good friends with Jim Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Rainey and I were pretty good friends. Cal Farlow was a terrific guy.
Such a sweet person, huh?
That's a sweet guy. I was playing in Philadelphia at a theater with Shep, and so who comes to visit Vittel Farlow? And he comes backstage, and he looks at the music on my stand, and he goes, "Do you read that?" And I said, "Yeah, I read that." He was astounded because he couldn't read.
Yeah, some of those guys developed
He
some.
could play, though.
Oh boy, could he? Yeah, yeah. And I think George Van Epps also came to Pittsburgh a few times, right?
Yeah, maybe I'll send it to you after. I have a tape of George and I playing when he was here.
Oh, I would love to hear that, Joe.
I loved him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the harmonies, I mean the triadic approach with the upper and lower neighbor tones and all the voices was really a Van Epps sort of type of invention, you could say, huh?
He was a special guitar player. A lot of people tell me, and I had the same experience. I looked at his book. Mm-hmm. It was really complex. God, can't you playing up in here, up in these positions,
Yeah.
I was always like, not that I wanted simplicity, but I wanted it to be available, so that you could reach it and you could, do stuff with it, not have it overpower you.
Absolutely. Did you ever try a 7-string guitar? I bet you tried it.
I think I did try it once, and I don't know. I think I gave up on it. But it's funny, Steve, because I was such a bebop guy, and now I'm more into. I love that kind of stuff.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. I wrote a song called My Guitar.
Oh, yeah?
My guitar. So I was never an open string guy, but now I love the full sound of the open strings and all that.
Oh, yeah. And they're a little bit easier on the left hand, too.
Yeah.
Fewer bar chords and so forth,
What I've noticed lately this past year is if you don't play regularly, look out for it. Your hand gets a little bit slow, painful. Like right now.
Well, it sounds really good now, Joe.
Thanks, man.
Have you ever had any issues with your hands? I know a lot of players. I was talking to John Pisano about this not too long ago, and he was telling me about arthritis in the thumb joint and so forth. And
knock on wood.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I've been pretty fortunate. Yeah.
That's great.
This hand is pretty good. I do have some trouble with my thumb here in my right hand.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'm okay.
Oh, that's really great. And I think, the secret, as you say, is to just keep playing,
Keep playing, yeah.
Yeah, because you keep the fingers limber and the muscles and tendons and, and it also keeps your brain very active,
What do you think? You got anything special you want to ask me?
Yeah, I do. Let's see. How about playing solo guitar? Because I know that you, I saw a video where you were, it may have been about 10 years old, maybe older, where you were talking about how you were just starting to get into solo guitar more, and that how much you really enjoyed it. And of course now with the pandemic and so forth, we're playing by ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, can you talk a little bit about your love for solo playing?
Well, I was just telling you, my love for solo playing has really even increased. I'm more in love with it now than I ever was. Let me find you something here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Here's a song by Charlie Chaplin. Smile.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I love that tune.
And I wish I knew these things better, but I almost have to read them, you know. Here's those chords.
Yeah.
Okay. And so
That's beautiful.
So I do like solo guitar playing now. I really do.
Absolutely. And do you often try to transpose it into a key, sort of a guitar-friendly
Yeah,
key?
I do.
I do the same. Yeah. I think why not, right? We're guitar players.
Look.
Ooh. Yeah.
Instead of
It's better in D, isn't it?
D flat.
Yeah, D flat's a little tough, you know. I think that was Strayhorn's key, wasn't it?
What?
D flat. Strayhorn wrote a lot of things in D flat and really loved. Did you get a chance to know him a little bit?
No, I never got to meet Billy. He's an amazing guy, you know.
Oh, yeah.
When I think of Lush Life and he was 16 years old, I'm just astounded. You know? Yes, I still can't get over it.
It is
And
amazing.
the funniest story I like is he went to see Duke here in Pittsburgh, and Duke said, take the train to New York and go to the Penn Station, get the subway to 125th Street, and then you'll come up here. And he gave him the address to where Duke was living. So Billy goes, does everything Duke told him, got the subway, went to Duke's house, and went up to Duke, and he handed him a script. A composition, and it was called "Take the A Train."
I love it. That's so beautiful. And if you listen to the words,
that's right. Duke said, "Take the A train to 125th Street." So that's how he came in, walked in, and we said, "Here's the song."
The quickest way to get to Harlem, yeah.
And Duke recorded it right away, and
Isn't
Billy
that
was
something?
on his way.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And you know, I think Barry Galbraith also was born in Pittsburgh. I don't know how long he stayed there before he went to New York, but
not too long, a few years, but he grew up here in a place called Cecil, which isn't far from where we live. A little bit of a farm town, you know. That's where he came from.
Did your teacher also teach Barry, I wonder?
No, I never taught Barry. He could have probably taught me.
Yeah. Now, was your teacher teaching in his home, or was he at Volkween's or one of those places?
When we started, downtown Pittsburgh was pretty popular, and there was a wonderful music store there called Volkween's, and they had lessons for everything, you know, drums, violin, piano, guitar, and Vic Lawrence was one of their big teachers.
I've been in Volkween's before, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're still there, but they were there in the 80s.
They moved across the river then to the north side, and then eventually they're gone now.
Okay, I see. Yeah. And when you're playing, when you have a gig, you know, like last year when we were all doing gigs and everything, what's your favorite instrumentation? Do you like the guitar trio, the guitar, bass and drums?
I've been using a nice piano player and good bass players. I love a good bass player, and like the sweet drummer I told you about, Tom.
Yeah.
And, maybe I'll use a horn. There's a fella at Duquesne called, his name is Mike Camaro, and he's an arranger and
I've heard of him, sure.
wonderful tenor player,
Mm-hmm.
So, people like that. My friend Danny's gone now, but I used to use Danny a lot on trumpet.
Yeah. So you don't mind playing with a piano. Some guitar players they think the pianos get in the way with guitar,
Yeah,
but
I do. But Max was a little like my brother because he was an idol of my brother's, and I think he picked up a lot of Bobby's ideas, and he plays very well behind me. Yeah, really nice.
Did your brother record quite a bit on his own?
Yeah, he did. He was with a group called the Deuces. Wow, they were sort of well known around here. You know what I wanted to tell you? Now, one of my best friends was Johnny Costa.
Oh yeah.
And Johnny played with the Rogers Show. Now, Johnny was like trying to play with Art Tatum.
He was on that level, wasn't he?
Yeah. So you had to be. You had to stay out of his hair too. But then when I would play, sometimes he would almost just back off and not do anything and just give it to me.
That's nice.
So we were pretty good friends, and we both went to Carnegie Mellon.
Oh, okay.
In fact, Johnny was the one that got me when I had come back from the Army. And he said, "Why don't you come to Carnegie Mellon?" And I said, "Well, they don't recognize guitar." And he said, "Well, what about composition?" So I went and I auditioned. I wrote a piece, and the composition teacher signed me up, and I started lessons there.
Oh, yeah.
His name was Nikolai Lopotnikov.
Okay. A Russian guy, huh?
Good composer, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Now, you've done a lot of composing yourself, quite a bit, right?
I have, yeah. My favorite thing that I wrote was My Mass of Hope. And, it's a mass in the jazz idiom, though,
Okay.
And I've written several other things. I wrote a violin sonata, I don't know, whatever happens with that. My problem, Steve, is I'm not a very good promoter of material, like getting recordings and getting stuff like that done.
Well, I think most artists, most musicians are that way, and I think you're spending more time working on your craft.
Can you see this one?
Songs from the Neighborhood, yeah, beautiful.
And then this is volume 3 on guitar.
10 classics for solo guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, in here I have some really nice standard. The Billy Strayhorn, I did a Billy Strayhorn medley. Oh, sorry, I can't. I like these things, yeah. The Composer's Corner. What I did was I did some Strayhorn, I did some Johnny Mandel, I did some Henry Mancini, and one of my favorites, Michel Legrand.
What's your favorite Michel Legrand tune to play? You have one?
I Will Wait for You.
Oh, yeah.
If it takes forever, I will wait for you.
That's beautiful.
You must believe in spring.
That is something. Love that tune. Yeah, he wrote some really great ones, didn't he?
Spring can really hang you up the most. Tommy Wolfe. I don't know.
And the Strayhorn medley. Do you have Lush Life in there, or?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, yeah.
That's a long song.
I did that all by itself. I did a tune that I called Rain Check.
Oh yeah, yeah.
In Chelsea Bridge, and then I did Lush Life by itself.
Rain Check is kind of tricky, isn't it? Because it's sort of like rhythm changes, but it's a little bit different. And,
yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah. It's got that different bridge to it and everything.
Yeah. Oh, it's great talking to you, man.
You too. Hey, I just have a couple of other quick questions for you, if you don't mind.
All right.
Did you
I
meet?
gotta get a move on.
Oh, did you meet Emily Remler when she came to Pittsburgh?
But that was the girl I was telling you about that
Oh.
Joe had a little.
Oh, is that right?
Because Emily tried to. He thought she was pushing him, but I don't think she was.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting that was Emily. So you did get to know her a little bit then.
The musician said, "Boy, he really gave her a guitar lesson."
She was great, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Emily. She came to Berkeley one time. I was actually sitting next to Bill Levitt. We were in the audience listening to Emily, John Abercrombie, Mick Goodrick, and John Schofield all playing together. You can hear it. It's on YouTube. And he leaned over to me and he said, "You know, Steve, Emily's playing better than all of them."
She was a little more of a traditionalist back, Schofield's great, though. They're all good.
No, they were all great. Unfortunately, Schofield was having some technical issues with a guitar cable or his guitar or something. It was cutting in and out, and I think it was distracting.
Bugging him.
Yeah, I think it was bugging him. And then I remember Joe Pass came to Berkeley once when I was there and played, and he was, one of his strings, I think it was his B string, was like a quarter tone flat, and there was like 1,000 guitar players in the audience listening to this, and I think he didn't tune it just to drive us crazy, I think he knew.
What was the story I wanted to tell you about Joe? He's playing these guitars that he's promoting, and I can't remember the name of them. So he goes to Bob Benedetto and he says, "Bob, can you do something with this guitar to make it a little more playable?" Bob said, play a Benedetto, don't play that."
The Ibanez, yeah.
Oh, the Ibanez, that's right. He wanted Bob to make the Ibanez sound like the Benedetto.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to do. Well, thanks so much, Joe. I really appreciate your time today, and it was so great getting to know you a little bit.
Let's continue to hang out, and if you want any of this material, just let me know, and I'll send you something.
Oh, well, that's great. I'd love to do this again sometime when you have some more time. Just let me know, and I could probably talk to you for hours. So, anyways,
I enjoyed the interview. It was very casual, and I hope that it'll all piece together for you.
I'm sure it'll work out great. Thanks so much, Joe. Be safe and take care.
As they say in Italy, salute.
Salud.
God bless you.
Bye-bye now. God bless you, Joe.